All right, guys, we're back again. COVID, CABAL. What is up, people? What is up? What is up? Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. What's happening? What's happening? All my friends, all my people, all my Americans, all my internationals. I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to the Thanksgiving special, COVID CABAL. We're back again. COVID CABAL. Back again. Thanksgiving Day. You know it. You expected it. You should have expected it. This is what we do. This is what we do. Nicola, what's going on, my man? Alan, what's going on, my man? Most of you guys, you're gonna have some people hanging out with their family today. I guess that's okay. Even though your COVID CABAL family is right here, they're waiting for you to arrive for the show. COVID CABAL family's locked in. Where are you? Are you not here? Are you not watching this live? You should have been here. If you're not watching this live, you should have been here. We got L, Big L. I know who this guy is. Welcome to COVID CABAL. We're here, Thanksgiving Day, celebrating with a sparkling wine from the freest country in the world, the United Kingdom. Absolutely freest country in the world. Very, very appropriate that I'm gonna have this English sparkling wine. Actually, it's very good. It's very good. People, you guys may not know this. You may not know this, but champagne is on this limestone, very chalky, right? Remember in the movie 1917, they show the trenches. They always show trenches being muddy, but that's only in the Belgian part of the front. If you're the part of the front that went through the Champagne region in France was chalky, is limestone. That same chalk runs under the English Channel to the cliffs of Dover. That's why the cliffs of Dover are white. In southeastern England, you have the same exact terroir as you do in the Champagne region of France. So, global warming, guys, it's real. It's real. And so, but I'm not going to try to prevent it because I like the fact that England can actually make champagne like it did back in the medieval warm period. Yane, what's up, man? What's up? All right, guys. We're going to do like a little fast rapid fire COVID CABAL here today. You guys were warned. You guys were warned. If you're not here, you fucked up. If you're not here, you fucked up. And I hope you have a terrible Thanksgiving. I'm just joking. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I understand a lot of you guys are, I got my European mutuals here. Heavy influence on the European mutuals today. It's all good. We're going to be talking about Europe a lot. But first, let's talk about our favorite bitch who just crashed out, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I gotta tell you guys something. This is like crazy shit. This is crazy shit, and I know that this is the COVID CABAL. It's not Dynamic Man podcast, but look at this. Look at this hysterics. This is like some like big butch woman. This isn't even like Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace is like, I'm not going to pretend you don't want to look at my tits. Nancy Mace is always looking for male attention, and I respect her for it. I don't think she should be in Congress, but Nancy Mace is at least like, she's a MILF, and she's always like, look at my tits. Okay. So she's good like that. She's keeping it classic. Okay, she's got her whole Marine shtick, but she's keeping it classic, okay? I'm not hating on Nancy Mace. She's exactly what you'd expect. But I was not expecting this gorilla bitch to be doing the same kind of stuff. You can't pull it off when you're built like a shit. You can't pull this kind of stuff off. Look at her. She's going on here. Cernovich says, finish your term in Congress. I cut it off. She's like, oh, I haven't suffered enough while you post all day behind a screen. Do I have to stay until I'm assassinated like Charlie Kirk? Will that be good enough for you then? And then she's like, adds on to that. She's like, fuck you. Oh, you're just like a man telling a woman to shut up and get back in the kitchen and fix me something to eat. What the fuck is going on here? what what is going on here? This is a serious crash out. This is a serious crash out. And I gotta say something, guys. This is why I trust Trump. I know people get pissed off. People will say what they say. It's frustrating in the short term. This is why I trust Trump. Because Trump totally destroyed this bitch. Totally destroyed her. She is gone. And you can tell it because whenever he outs somebody, they are unable to keep themselves composed when they're a bad actor. If Trump ever like goes too aggressive, friendly fire, the person's like, it's all good, buddy. I'm like, I still love you. Like, Trump, come on, don't do me like that, Trump. Don't do me like that, Trump, But when Trump's got someone dead to rights, they crash out big time. This is crazy. And this is an important post right here. Still more stable and reasonable than the average European female politician. Sorry, guys, but it's over with women. Come in February 2026, Pisces out of the outer planets, it's done. You can already see it. You can already see that everyone's done with toxic femininity. They're done with it. And if Marjorie Taylor Greene, who presents as one of the most masculine female politicians out there, if she's crashing out like a hysterical woman, doing the whole damsel in distress thing, no one cares about this stuff anymore. We're tired of hearing it. We're tired of female judges who fucking suck. Went through that firsthand. I'm not saying a lot of these male judges are better, right? Boomer, there's a lot of bad judges out here. There's a lot of bad judges, okay? But if the average judge and politician is bad, the average female judge and politician is horrendous. It's kind of like a funny thing because women, like feminists, have actually ended up proving. I had an exchange the other day with Mitochondrial Eve. They have ended up proving every single argument that made us not want them in these positions to begin with. That's what's so crazy to me. They still reject the solutions. But, I saw a woman the other day. I was interacting with a woman the other day. She's saying, a 24-year-old woman is still like a child. So it's like predatory for a man who's in his 40s to date her. Like, okay, so she's allowed to fucking vote. She's 24 years old. She still thinks like a child and she's allowed to vote. For the record, I actually think a lot of women are, I go back and forth. I'm kind of like, I'm just going to use your arguments against you. You're saying women have no agency and they're not responsible for their own decisions, but you want to give them more authority and more rights. You can't have it both ways. She's a child. Okay. She can't vote. She can't make decisions for herself. We'll protect her. That's abuse. She should be able to do what she wants. Okay. So let her date who she wants to date. She's being taken advantage of. She can't make her own decisions. This is like round and round it goes. Shut the fuck up. How about that? How about you shut the fuck up? How about you have a terrible opinion? You're hysterical. You are absolutely ungrounded and unable to make a cogent argument whatsoever. And honestly, the women I know in my own life are not this fucking stupid. And that's what's really sad is that the women that I know, like personally, don't act like these women, but these women are the ones who are trying to influence debate. They're the ones who are trying to like assert things in conversation, and they just show that they're completely unequipped to do it. Perfectly unequipped to do it. So, but we're seeing this more and more. There is a lack of objectivity that they're able to bring to the table. And, the masculine creates structure and judgment. I want women to feel safe in society. I want women to have fulfilled lives. And I'm sorry, but that doesn't entail somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's completely unequipped emotionally or psychologically to hold a position of leadership. You can't be like crashing out like this and hold a position of leadership. You just can't do it. Say what you want about Hillary Clinton. She was absolutely malicious. Hillary Clinton, at least, she at least could keep it together. She at least had some level of cunning. She didn't play that damsel. That generation of female politicians had to operate in a male system, and they were built different. But the women who come into politics now, it's just like daycare. That's what it is, daycare. You know, all pageant. Women in the past couldn't do that stuff. I don't care if a woman's in politics, but it's got to be a man's world. Politics is a man's world. I'm okay with letting women in politics, but we're not pretending that politics isn't war by other means, because that's what it is. War is a man's world. Politics is a man's world. If a woman is going to be in the military, if a woman is going to be in politics, she better be prepared to take fucking shit like a man's going to take in a trench, metaphorical or real. That's it. Bottom line. You want to run, get shit on. Say what you want about Nancy. That's what I'm saying. I like my bimbo Nancy Mace, because Nancy Mace, you know, she plays these little girl games, right? But Nancy Mace, she takes it. She takes it. I'm not going to make a joke. I'm not going to continue that joke. She takes it. I'm not going to continue. I promise. She was in the Marine Corps. I'm not going to continue that joke. Everybody in the Marine Corps knows what I'm not going to say it, though. I'm not going to make a joke about Nancy Mace being an attention-seeking woman in the Marines. I won't do that. That's disrespectful. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Okay? So don't ask me to talk about what she probably was doing. What's up, Jeff? How we doing, brother? All right, let's pivot here. We got some fat Afghan who was in some CIA strike force, the Kandahar strike force or something like that. That's what it's looking like. Who knows if this stuff is real, right? Who knows if it's real? We got him killing or critically injuring, didn't kill, critically injured 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen. And now we have all this stuff. We have your favorite communist congressman and former intelligence analysts telling people to say insurrection, telling people to insurrect, telling people to not follow orders. Now you have these billboards popping up here. You saw the billboard. You have questions. You are not alone. Here are some proactive steps you can take to reduce risk. Be sure to access resources from a personal device, not a military or government computer, email account, phone, or Wi-Fi network. Use an encrypted Proton Mail email account. Use the Signal app for encrypted texts and calls. Use a virtual private network VPN like NordVPN. Support resources from service members. Anyone who put this up there is guilty of sedition. It's an easy closed shut case. If you actually disseminated this, you're encouraging service members to be seditious against the government. So I'm going to say again what I've been saying for a while. If you don't think there's a standoff coming, it's coming. It's absolutely happening. We have them killing service members. We have them planning, fomenting insurrection and sedition. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. When the stars align, it's going to happen. And the stars are coming. It's coming. 2 to 3 months. It's coming. In the meantime, we're just going to have to listen to the delusional ramblings of people like Ursula von der Leyen. I'm not going to do those boomer like name shifts, right? Or how, controlling chats. She's going to pass some chat control thing. I wonder what's going to happen to me in Poland. I mean, Poland is like based country, but I'm going to be in the EU. I'm going to be in the belly of the beast. I can't get away from it. I got to go where the action is. Now, you guys are going to have action here. Trump's going to be doing things domestically, but here's the thing, guys. Here is the thing. Europe's getting ready for war. They're getting ready for war. You can see this is what Trump's peace deal is about. It's a peace deal that nobody would like. But Ukraine can still have an army. They can join the EU. They can't join NATO. Russia gets its 2 regions. They're not going to accept it. They're not going to accept the deal. Ukraine just increased the draft age to 16, though. So they're getting desperate, and that's why we're seeing all of this stuff. I'm not joking, you guys. I don't follow any of these accounts, and I've now, like, in the last 48 to 72 hours, everything I'm being bombarded on my social media with this sort of slop. A Ukraine and EU would allow us to completely reshape how we use land in Europe. It's like we need Ukraine and EU now. Look how much of our land we use unproductive and unnatural, heavy subsidized farmland. So we got this, right? Yes, Ukraine needs to join the EU. Then we have this crap. This girl, I started laughing at her. She blocked me, like, immediately. When the EU integrates its military forces, it instantly becomes the world's #2 military power, stronger and cheaper. Germany will once again build the most powerful army in Europe. 377 billion euro military modernization plan to make the Bundeswehr Europe's strongest, most conventional army. They're going to deploy 800,000 NATO troops to Eastern Europe in the event of a war with Russia. And then there's another one I don't have here. A majority of Germans support going to war with Russia in in defense of whatever. It's obvious what they're planning on doing. And this is what I want to caution you guys, okay? I'm the one who needs to be cautioned because I'm going to be on the front. I'm going to be on the Eastern Front. We are literally, like, when I'm talking about how in February we go into Aries, it's war season. Trump's going to go kinetic domestically. That's good. Like, Europe is going to do the same thing next spring. This war is going to escalate. Now, I don't think anything's going to really happen because there's no gas behind it. This stuff is crazy. It's crazy. Like, the migration stuff in Europe is so out of control. There's no popular support for this, especially among the non-boomer population. You're getting arrested for sending tweets, right? You're getting arrested for talking about, the migration issues, for the crime. Piers Morgan won't say faggot. Tucker Carlson's trying to get him to say faggot. He won't say it. But this is what things are going to get crazy in 2026. It's going to be the big denouement of it all. Ursula's the Destroyer. And thank you so much, George Bruno. Best show on YouTube. I never missed a COVID Cabal. That is very kind of you. Very kind. We're going to see if we can blow up COVID Cabal next year. Black Friday's tomorrow. I'm going to get myself a camera. So we're going to have a good show. But guys, I feel like I don't have a lot to say because I'm not going to try to, I don't want to be distracting to people about, let's go all the way down the rabbit hole, find this. We understand what's going on big picture. The EU is not going to be able, EU in the Commonwealth, they do not have the capacity to mobilize an army to fight against Russia. They don't have the ability to do it. There's all this EU slop coming out. EU's greatest, EU's going to take over. EU's the future. You guys, your economy is flat. I didn't actually realize this. I didn't realize, how hard it is. I was like, oh, it's Poland, right? I didn't realize how hard it is for many people in Europe in general. They're so much poorer than America. Like, I didn't even realize this. And it's because of the regulation. Like, I saw something the other day, just like all the different regulations that were required for a company to be able to do business in all of these different countries in the EU. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't understand it. My American brain doesn't understand it. And guys, I have to say this. I'm an American nationalist. You guys know that. But I'm a Europhile. It's easier for me to live in Europe than it is for me to live outside of the New Jersey area, the Philly, New York area. Like, that's how, I'm an American nationalist, but it's easier for me to live in Europe. I grew up going to Europe. I feel more comfortable in Europe. I love Europe. I married a European. Europe is, a lot of Americans are going to hate me for what I'm about to say, but Europe is the homeland. As much as I love and want to protect America, I am not one of those Americans who is like, screw Europe. I hope Europe just, falls apart. No, Europe is the homeland. America is like the peak experiment. I think it's where Europeans met their hypothesis, right? Maybe that's the wrong term because that maybe is death, a heroic death. But maybe it's going to be that too. It's where Europeans met their full potential in America. But that doesn't mean, but Europe is where we came from. And when you go there, you feel it. You feel how young America is. You only even get a taste of feeling old in the Northeast. That's one of the reasons I think I feel so anchored to it, because you can go down Old City, Philadelphia, or you can go to, parts of New York. New York has so much going on with it, but you can feel like, okay, there's history here. There's anchoring. But when you go west of the Mississippi, man, I mean, you're in like modern time periods. Yeah, like San Francisco, maybe. Everything else is like nothing. So what am I trying to say with all this? I'm trying to say I love Europe. I love Europeans. They're very dear to my heart. But it's old country for a reason. There's just not a lot of dynamic thinking. And you guys have to learn. You have to learn how to have a future. It's a wonderful thing to have your past. The countries that are allowed to actually celebrate their past, unlike Germany, right? It's a wonderful thing to have your past, to love your past. But you have to find a reason to continue to exist. You have to find a reason to build, to develop your culture. This is not the end. And this is why, like, I'm gonna finish this COVID cabal by just telling you where I really see big picture. And I'm gonna be wrong about so many things, but I just want to like outline it big picture. Where are we going? Big picture, where are we going? Okay. Hey, look, George, if you weren't already, you date a Slavic girl, you're gonna become a Europhile. I mean, right? That's how it is. That's how it is. The end of this decade in the 2030s through the very early 2040s are going to be, this is the fourth turning. The fourth turning, how do I put this? Let's do an analogy with time periods. You had really what was a you had an era, so to speak, I would say, between World War I and 65. Right? People usually chop that smaller, but what you can see is that the end of an old era happened. Like we could tell that we're at war, things are different. That happened in 1914. That was the end of the great European century. One of the most beautiful times in the history of mankind. The most beautiful, arguably. When you look at it in its entirety, that era from the Napoleonic Wars to World War I was just such a peak era of European excellence. Unbelievable time. I think anybody who studies it feels so much enormous pain at what was taken from us with that, because it was so, America and Europe in their own ways were just so powerful culturally, in self-belief. World War I wrecks that. World War I wrecked that like the global war on terror did that for America. Wrecked that self-belief. And then you have all this chaos, and like you can look at the teens. That to me was very much like very analogous to the 1920s, right? The woke era. And we're about to enter into, we're getting into the 1930s, okay? We're getting 1930s. We are going to be going into war. The next 20 years are going to be defined by remigration and internal fights against communists, which are going to be layered with the technological AI economic displacement. The next 20 years are going to be existential. They're going to be existential for the world, but particularly for the West. It's in this next 10 to 20 years that we are going to figure out if Westerners have a will to survive. Are they going to be able to fight for their homelands? Are they going to be able to remigrate the people who need to be remigrated? Are they going to have children? A lot are not going to make it. It's going to be an extremely chaotic period, especially because it's going to be layered with AI displacing the entire economy. But the fruit, and there's going to be all sorts of plans. This is when the CABAL is trying to do they're going to do their Antichrist thing. There's going to be a lot that comes. I can't even tell you entirely, but what I see are these little communities forming that are going to be strong defenses. They're going to be physical communities, and they're going to be these internet communities that are going to be working together, protecting their little sort of strong points against the pressure from all this stuff. And I think a lot of the filth is going to be washed away. I have full confidence we're going to make it through ultimately, but a lot is going to be swept away in the aftermath of that. It's going to be a very different world. The 2040s are going to be a very, very different era. And I think that's when we really have the space era. That's when our focus, because we'll have power hosed the shit in our society out, that we are going to be building towards the future. I know that's where America is going, but Europe has to go there too. We need Europe there as well. We need Europe to discover its confidence again. And its confidence is not arrogance, is not confidence. Europe is very arrogant. They're very arrogant, and being blunt, guys don't have a lot to back it up with these days, except for hot women. Got hot women. You guys got hot women. I'm giving you that. Got hot women, you got good food. You got pretty buildings, but you didn't build, those are old buildings. Okay? But there's no dynamism in society. There's no forward looking. And even if you had a homogenous society, which some of you still do, if it's overly socialistic, it's not going to move forward. Overly socialistic, I mean. I'm not talking about having like a high trust safety net, but I mean there has to be a vision. You have to develop a vision for your people that's more than long vacations and relaxing. That's a very feminine way of operating. That is not what made you great. America is definitely not perfect. America's got problems. And we have our own distortions. But we do have that fucking big dick energy. We got the big dick. We got that big dick. We still got that aggression. There's a lot of parts of America, it's like they're fat, fucking fat, and we got a big dick. So the dick's looking smaller because we're so fat, but it's still there, guys. When we hit the gym, the big dick's still. What am I doing here with this? Big dick's still there, and we're on a weight loss plan right now. So anyway, guys, but not today. Today's Thanksgiving. Today we are having a good time. Today we're having fun. Do you guys have any other questions? You guys want me to cover anything? I can squeeze a few more minutes out of this. If you have any more questions, drop them in the chat before I get out of here. Before I take my, I'm not gonna say. I will talk about it. I won't talk about my. I won't talk about it. That's crass. We're gonna talk about Nancy Mace's. We'll talk about Nancy Mace's tits, but we're not talking about that. I think we're good, guys. I think we're good. I don't see any comments here. You guys enjoy dinner with your families. You guys enjoy your Thanksgiving with your families. When will Russia get the Kramatorsk? Man, this war is like, they're grinding them out. I mean, you can see that Russia's taking these positions, but this war has really become like such a slog. 1 to 2 person like unit teams taking positions, tanks looking like, porcupine because they have to have all this like, anti-drone stuff. I stopped watching the war commentary because I think Russia understands that there is no reason to expend more forces than necessary in order to win the war, because the real war is going to be won when the cabal EU, collapses, or at least the EU changes its essence. I mean, maybe it could be internally co-opted, but the Brussels London kind of cabal, what's the point? That's one of the reasons why it's good for Russia to take the deal, because if the deal ends up destroying the EU, then they're going to end up taking the rest of Ukraine anyway, legally or otherwise. Right? You seed something tactically to win something strategically. There's no way that this stuff doesn't end next year. It's my opinion. It's my opinion. I shouldn't say end, because that's too subjective. What do you mean by end? What ending? But will anything happen in Venezuela this year? Pete is there now. Happy Thanksgiving. I think Venezuela, there's definitely going to be action in Northern South America. I think it's not clear to me yet whether it's going to be Venezuela that's directly targeted, or whether it's going to be Colombia or Mexico even, but they are taking out the cartels and the network of money that's going to the black ops that funds cabal operations, since they no longer have access to our taxpayer money. Every single time we've invaded some country, the drug trades boom, because that's how the deep state makes money. That's why all the way back to Vietnam, they've been involved with wars that have produced illicit drugs. They make money off of it. So the war, Trump's actual going after Venezuela, whether it results in kinetic action or not, that's the target. That's the point of it all. So, all right, guys. Thanksgiving's calling me. Thanksgiving is calling me. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you're in Europe, I celebrate with you. Spiritually, I guess, whatever. Spiritual. You guys are spiritual Americans, right? Spiritual Americans. Maybe. I want to presume. Hope you guys have a great day. I love you all. Happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you on the next COVID Cabal, which will be sometime next week. We'll figure it out. All right. Take care, guys.